Welcome to the Quantum Collective.
I'm excited to announce that MeadTools Desktop app is now out, and I can use it on Mac OS, Windows, or Ubuntu Linux. And I'm going to walk through some of the new features for the desktop app that are different from the website. So the main things are complete offline capability. So I don't need the internet to access any of the new features of the app. I don't need it to build recipes. I don't need the internet for any of that. I do need it if I want to look at my MeadTools Online account stuff, but that's, pretty obvious. So the recipe builder is pretty much exactly the same until you get to the end there. So I'm going to just build a pretty simple traditional mead. So I'll do gallon of water, 3 pounds of honey, and then like, oh, sorry, that should be pounds. 3 pounds of honey, and then a quarter pound of honey in secondary. And I see all of my regular stuff. I have the scale recipe function that I recently added to the website is also on here. And I'm not gonna go through like all of this. I'm just gonna pick some like normal things because all of this is exactly the same as the website. Additives, all of this, like I said, exactly the same. I've still got my PDF recipe. This is where things start to go differently, so I can log in to save my recipe to the MeadTools online account like normal, or I can save it locally. So when I save it locally, I can enter a recipe name. So I'm just going to call this traditional. And I click Save Recipe. And it's going to open a little dialog box to save it onto my computer. So I'm going to put it somewhere where I'm actually like using stuff. But now you can see it's successfully saved. And now I'm to a new page that you haven't seen before where I can open a file for hydrometer data. So I have pill data, wrapped pill, tilt, or iSpindle if you save it as a CSV in a specific format. And then this hydrometer file is actually for manual entry. But I'm not going to enter one right now because I'm actually going to go and link it separately. But you could go ahead and open your file from here. And we'll talk some more about that here in just a minute. But I now have a place where I can view my local recipes. So I'm actually going to delete the rest of these. And all of these are saved locally on my computer. So I can view the recipe, I can view the recipe PDF just like before. I can set a default path for where to save all of my recipes. So I just set that to that MeadTools folder, so from now on it'll automatically pull up that path. And you can see right here, I can add the hydrometer data just like I did before. This should say attach a file. I'll have that fixed before this video goes out. But I can do a manual entry or I can attach a file. So we're going to do manual entry. And you can see I can decide whether or not I'm adding temperature readings to this. So I'm going to say yes for these. And I can do my readings. And then I just give it a date and a time. And my temperature. And the gravity that it's at. So let's say it's at 1.1. And these are like my manual readings, like what I would put in there. And then let's say on the 13th at 2:47 it was 1090, and then I'm just going to add a couple more of these just to kind of show you how this goes. And these would be whatever, files you had. And then it'll show up down here, and it'll let you edit them or delete them, and then you can go ahead and save it. And you just pick a file name. So I'm going to put traditional again because it's going to have a different file extension. It's going to save as a .hydro file. So now I can go and open my hydrometer data, and I've got this cool chart. And you can see I have the ABV, temperature, and specific gravity. And because this is a hydro file, I can go in and edit it, and it pulls up that same thing as before. And I can also, let's just make a copy of this. I'm going to call this trad 2. And now for this one, let's say I want to open a wrapped pill file. I go and I have to find one, which I don't think I have one in here. I think it's in my downloads. And a pill file is going to be saved as a Microsoft Excel file. It's going to be saved as an Excel file. So I can go, and some of these are tilts, so I'm not going to do that because that wouldn't come in the same way. But this one right here is a tilt, or is a pill file. So I'm going to open it, and you can see I've got all of my pill data here, and now it's linked to that recipe. So I can go to view local recipes, and I can open that. And I can do the same thing with tilt stuff, and I can also do it with a specific formatted CSV for iSpindle data, but I actually recommend just waiting for iSpindle because I've got some stuff coming to the MeadTools Online that's going to be better for that. Now let's talk briefly about some of the other features that I have available. So I showed you the charting, and I showed you the local files. Let me actually show you one more thing with the local files while I'm thinking about it. So if I have a file on my computer, that is a .mead file. So this is titled mead.mead. I can drag it, and it will automatically open that file on the recipe builder. You can see I have the title and everything there, and I can go in and add stuff and do all that. So that's the last thing with the local files. Let's talk about the data management real quick. So I can go in and view all of the yeasts that are available, and by default these are just all of the yeasts that are available on MeadTools. But I can also go in and edit them, delete them. I can go in and add a new one, so I can make a new yeast here, and I'll have that in my local database. I can do the same thing with ingredients, so I can go through and look at all of these different ingredients. Let's say that my blueberries, my local blueberries are pretty consistent, but they're a little bit higher sugar content than the blueberries in MeadTools. Let's say they're 10% instead. I can now go in and edit it, and now my blueberries are 10%. And all of this, again, saves locally on your computer. You don't have to worry about any of the online capabilities. You can just go through and add and edit whatever you want on here. And if you ever get to a point where you don't like or you want to go back to the defaults, you can go here and reset, and it'll reset back to all of the defaults that I have. So those are the main new features of the desktop app. I have had some reports that it actually tends to run a little smoother than some of the websites than the website does on some platforms. So that's nice too. But the main two functionality things are the ability to have local files, the ability to edit your data. uh, and then obviously the charting stuff too. So I also want to make one quick note that you can download this at MeadTools.com/desktop, and it should have a download link for your operating system. And just a quick note that if you are on Windows, it will give you a warning for uh, downloading like an unauthorized application. As long as you are downloading the one directly from the MeadTools website and not something else sketchy, it should be secure. But obviously, can't guarantee that. But um, updates are automatically searched for when you reopen the app. So anytime there's an update out, you can update it pretty quickly. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what people think about this, and I hope this is yet another step in the direction of making an all-in-one tool that people will use um, over and over and over again. Thank you.